just the way you are, which was really bad timing for it to hit.
People he doesn't really like that I do.
Back in her prime, Kristy McNichol absolutely dominated the entertainment industry, capturing America's affection through massive television hits and blockbuster films. Right as her star was shining brightest, she simply walked away from the business and dropped off the radar. The general public was completely blindsided, and the actual reasons stayed under wraps for decades. Fast forward to age 63, and she is ultimately breaking her silence. She is peeling back the curtain on why she actually left, revealing the painful traumas she kept locked away for so long. What actually drove her to walk away from it all, and what private demons was she battling off screen? We are finally diving into the closely guarded secrets of her life today. Entering the world on September 11th, 1962, Kristina Ann McNichol was a Los Angeles native. She grew up with a blue-collar dad named James and a mother, Carolyn, who worked in healthcare. Her folks called it quits when she was merely 3, forcing Carolyn into single motherhood with 3 kids, Kristy, Jimmy, and Tommy. Things were tough at first, but their mum busted her tail to keep food on the table and steer her kids towards success. It did not take long for the young girl to find the spotlight. She booked her initial TV ad by age 6, and that was no accident. Her mum spotted her undeniable charisma right away and stepped up to be her personal talent manager. That early start robbed her of a traditional upbringing. Her youth was entirely consumed by casting calls, glaring studio lights, and massive industry pressure. Showbiz totally dictated their family dynamic, especially since Jimmy was also chasing Hollywood dreams. While normal neighborhood kids played pretend, these siblings were out there securing paying gigs. Even though they cared deeply for one another, their household was incredibly unconventional, driven by chaotic itineraries, and back in the early 1970s, Kristy landed minor parts in hit series like Starsky and Hutch, The Bionic Woman, Chips, Love, American Style, and The Love Boat. A close pal of the family named Desi Arnaz actually gave her that crucial first break. 1974 brought her a breakthrough gig playing Patricia Apple on the CBS series Apple's Way. Though cancelled after just a year, the project subtly put her on the Hollywood map. Crew members were already spotting her undeniable star power. By 1976, Kristy McNichol took on a character that would completely change her trajectory. At barely 13 years old, she scored the part of Letitia Buddy Lawrence on ABC's Family. This drama tracked a standard middle-class California household, yet it totally broke the mold for television back then. Instead of dodging tough issues like other programs did, Family tackled them head-on. The writers dove right into divorce, sickness, mourning, and finding oneself. These narratives painted an incredibly raw picture of human existence. Right in the middle of all that drama stood Buddy, the baby of the clan. Kristy shared the screen with heavyweights like James Broderick and Sada Thompson playing her folks, while Meredith Baxter portrayed her big sister. Even surrounded by veterans, Kristy is the one who truly stole our hearts. She brought a raw, authentic vibe to the screen, rarely seen in kids. She never just acted out a scene. She lived and breathed every single feeling. Viewers tuned in weekly to watch Buddy struggle through the chaotic rollercoaster of puberty. Channeling her alter ego, Kristy nailed the awkward, insecure, and inquisitive nature of being a teen. The show pushed major boundaries too, introducing a gay character, which was virtually unheard of on network television in the late 1970s. Since the young starlet was secretly wrestling with her own truth behind closed doors, these scripts likely hit incredibly close to home. Everyone in show business immediately took notice of her breathtaking talent. Between 1977 and 1979, she racked up 3 back-to-back Emmy nods for Outstanding Supporting Actress. She took the trophy home twice, grabbing her first win on her 15th birthday in 1977, followed by another victory in 1979. When the program wrapped up in 1980, she earned another nod for Outstanding Lead Actress, plus a Golden Globe nomination. By the time she turned 16, Kristy McNichol was absolutely dominating the American entertainment scene as a teenage icon. During that same era, she teamed up with her brother Jimmy to drop a pop album through RCA Records in 1978. The pair actually hyped the release at the iconic Studio 54 and shared the stage on the Carpenter's holiday special, A Christmas Portrait. For a brief second, her career was firing on all cylinders. Her star power skyrocketed, bringing endless possibilities and a dazzling future. However, hidden beneath all that glamour, things were getting incredibly messy out of the public eye. Growing up usually means stumbling through awkward phases, keeping secrets, and trying to find yourself in peace. Unfortunately, Kristy McNichol was completely robbed of having a normal, under-the-radar adolescence. Her entire youth played out under blazing studio lights for a massive national audience. From popping up on The Mike Douglas Show and Diner, to dominating Battle of the Network stars and ruling teen magazine stands, she was absolutely everywhere. Families coast to coast knew exactly who she was. On the surface, it seemed like a total fairy tale, but dealing with that as a kid was a nightmare. Decades down the line, she opened up about the crushing stress of her youth. Tryouts led to brutal letdowns, and hitting it big just piled on impossible demands. While her peers were obsessing over prom dresses, her entire existence centered on memorizing lines, hitting marks, and doing press tours. She sacrificed basically every normal childhood milestone. Looking back, she revealed that skipping prom and traditional high school made her feel like a passenger in her own life. The Hollywood machine moved at warp speed, demanding she keep pace regardless of her mental state. Meanwhile, she was burying a massive personal secret deep inside, absolutely terrified of the truth coming out. Back then, Tinseltown wasn't exactly a safe space for young stars to live their truth, forcing Kristy into the closet. Hiding who she really was just piled a mountain of stress onto an already exhausting showbiz grind. By June 1980, her hit television series wrapped up its 5-year run. At barely 17 years old, this talented teenager appeared poised for massive stardom as she pivoted toward movies, hungry to show off her dramatic chops. She'd already shared the screen with Burt Reynolds in a 1978 black comedy. That exact same year, she absolutely crushed it in a made-for-TV movie, starring as a Jewish teenager hiding a captured enemy soldier. Her true cinematic breakthrough arrived in 1980 with a summer camp classic opposite Tatum O'Neal. It was a bold, coming-of-age tale about two wildly different girls racing to see who could lose their innocence first. Opting for the gritty role of a streetwise kid, she delivered a performance that perfectly balanced sheer toughness with heartbreaking fragility. Fans completely resonated with her grounded emotional depth on screen. Raking in over $34 million, the box office smash snagged the 18-year-old a massive fan-voted trophy. Riding that wave into 1981, she booked consecutive major projects, including a beloved Neil Simon adaptation and a gritty Southern drama. That Simon picture even bagged her a major industry nod, cementing her status as a legitimate heavyweight rather than a washed-up kid actor. It honestly looked like she was cruising straight down the fast lane to A-list territory. Off camera though, the massive weight of those hidden struggles was finally crushing her spirit. While the flashing bulbs missed it completely, her personal world was quietly falling apart at the seams. By 1982, the rising star jetted off to Europe to shoot a breezy romantic flick. To the average moviegoer, it just looked like another glamorous milestone in her unstoppable Hollywood journey. Deep down, she was experiencing a complete mental breakdown on set. Opening up decades later about that agonizing shoot, she described battling severe insomnia, endless tears, and an absolute tidal wave of anxiety. The collapse didn't happen overnight. Rather, it was the slow, crushing weight of chronic stress. Growing up in the glaring spotlight meant her days were dictated by rigid itineraries and sky-high demands, leaving zero room for a regular childhood, which ultimately broke her. Production actually ground to a halt when she experienced a massive psychological crash on set, and even though Just the Way You Are finally hit theaters in 1984, the young star had already vanished from the public eye. Reflecting on that dark period, she revealed how a perfect storm of overwhelming factors triggered her breaking point. Surviving a cutthroat business without a shred of privacy forced her to bottle up heavy emotions for way too long. Despite widespread rumors of substance abuse, she clarified that the sheer, unadulterated stress was more than enough to shatter a kid. Hollywood's vibe had shifted considerably by the time she cautiously dipped her toes back into acting, with casting directors offering fewer roles and executives questioning her dependability. She still booked gigs like Dream Lover and Women of Valor in 1986, scoring minor parts in You Can't Hurry Love and Two Moon Junction by 1988, yet that massive superstardom from the early 1980s was gone for good. 1988 sparked a massive career revival, as she headed back to the small screen when the National Broadcasting Company premiered Empty Nest, a highly anticipated spin-off of the legendary comedy series The Golden Girls. Audiences tuned in to watch Richard Mulligan play a grieving physician trying to navigate a chaotic household alongside his two grown-up girls. Fans absolutely thrilled at her comeback, watched her shine as the fiercely independent rookie cop Barbara Weston, a perfectly cast role that highlighted her undeniable on-screen charisma. Boasting that classic Golden Girls charm and a rock-solid Saturday night viewing block, the smash hit quickly cultivated a massive fan base, making it seem like the actress had finally scored a permanent gig. Sticking around until the midpoint of season 5, she shocked everyone by abruptly exiting the sitcom in 1992, without offering the press any real explanation. Only during her brief cameo for the 1995 series finale did she finally confess that a severe bipolar disorder diagnosis had forced her to choose between chasing fame and saving her own sanity. Navigating those extreme manic and depressive episodes demands incredible consistency and routine, which was practically impossible on a chaotic sitcom set. Plus, the 1990s still carried a brutal, deeply rooted stigma regarding mental illness. Getting that official medical answer finally gave her clarity on the invisible demons she had battled her whole life, empowering her to ditch Hollywood and prioritize her recovery. Following that final empty nest appearance in 1995, her days of acting in front of a camera practically vanished, though she did lend her vocals to cartoons like Extreme Ghostbusters in 1997 and Invasion America in 1998. The golden age of seeing her light up our living rooms had officially ended, culminating in June 2001 when she officially pulled the plug on the only profession she had ever really known. Fans were stunned when her representative confirmed she was bowing out at just 38 years old, yet people often forgot she had practically surrendered 25 years of her life to show business. Thrown into the grueling Hollywood machine as a mere kid, she was booking major gigs way before she could even get a learner's permit or grasp the massive personal sacrifices required. Releasing a remarkably candid and grounded press statement, she beautifully noted that she was ready to embrace her greatest gig ever, simply living as an authentic human being. Fully aware that her devoted childhood audience would definitely be bummed out, she openly admitted that walking away was the only possible route to finding true mental tranquility and joy. She bowed out gracefully without a shred of tabloid drama or tease of a future comeback, reclaiming her future from the paparazzi, leaving her lifelong followers with incredibly mixed emotions. In retrospect, walking away was an incredibly brave flex, allowing her to finally call the shots after sacrificing decades to studio executives, grueling itineraries, and suffocating public demands. Ditching Tinseltown didn't mean vanishing into thin air. Instead, it marked the beginning of an incredibly grounded and beautiful personal reinvention. She shifted gears to instruct theater classes at a prestigious Los Angeles academy, passing down her extensive on-set wisdom to a bunch of eager kids hoping to catch their big break. Trading the limelight to mentor aspiring creatives, she poured her energy into philanthropy, took amazing trips, and finally embraced a concept that was foreign to her: pure relaxation. Escaping the relentless grip of mandatory call times and chaotic studio slates gave her unprecedented freedom for the first time in literal decades. Chasing a completely different dream in 2011, she quietly signed up for the Los Angeles Valley College chorus, proving this was about genuine passion rather than a cheap media stunt. Finding immense comfort in harmonizing with fellow vocal enthusiasts, she even stepped up to collaborate with the campus foundation, successfully raising crucial dollars for their growing arts department. Chatting with reporters, she passionately advocated for youth arts education, insisting that creative outlets were absolutely vital resources that needed fierce community backing. 2012 brought a massive revelation when she sat down with People magazine to come out as a lesbian, proudly introducing Marty Allen, a fellow educator she had been dating since the early 1990s. The couple enjoyed an incredibly low-key existence, existing miles away from the exhausting hustle and superficial glamour of the entertainment industry. Unveiling her hidden truth without an ounce of theatrics, she noted that breaking her silence was entirely motivated by a desire to comfort and empower queer teens battling severe bullying. Having hit 50, the former child star had successfully curated an incredibly rich, serene reality filled with frequent Hawaiian getaways, choir practices, and kicking back with her adorable miniature dachshunds. While she never officially slammed the door on taking another role, she constantly emphasized how fiercely protective she was of her gorgeous, intensely private post-fame reality. Pouring her entire youth into entertaining the masses, the legendary actress eventually unearthed the ultimate prize: the absolute liberty to just be totally, authentically herself.